afternoon, the summit appears to be more than obviously just getting a ceasefire. There has to be some potential for other incentives. Could they be business when you look at the delegations? And also, Vladimir Putin is saying both sides could also secure a nuclear non-proliferation pact during the meeting. So you look at sort of whether or not President Trump is able to offer some business potential to allow Putin back into a global economy, and what impact it also has as China watches that as well. Pleased to bring in our panel now to weigh in on the high-stakes meeting, the historic one indeed that is playing out right now. Ambassador James Gilmore, the former U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the former governor of Virginia, with us. Ambassador, good afternoon. And pleased to have alongside him Rebekah Koffler, a former defense intelligence officer, formerly at the DIA, fluent in Russian. She also has the book, Putin's Playbook, Russia's Secret Plan to Defeat America. Ambassador Gilmore, when I look at what is the potential cautious optimism, we say President Trump says, I'm not negotiating on behalf of Ukraine, but land swaps are going to be on the table. There's also a question about what security guarantees that Ukraine can get. These are thorny issues. What is your highest hope to walk out of this summit today? Is it just the ceasefire?
Well, I think a ceasefire would be a good result. Hey, doing no harm would be a good result. I think that you have to examine what the goals are of the two respective parties that are coming together for this, because Putin is in this thing for the national interest of Russia, and that's all. He's not interested in being anybody's buddy. He's interested in pursuing Russia's best interests. And I think that means probably making sure that President Trump doesn't give the go-ahead for those sanctions. President Trump, on the other hand, I think wants to be a peacemaker. He wants to see a ceasefire because he wants to be a peacemaker. But he doesn't have very many cards in his hand. Frankly, he's given most of them away, except the sanctions. He does threaten those sanctions, which I think got Putin's attention, because in my view, the economy of Russia is not good. And I think that that they're weak, and they can be made weaker with the sanctions.
And Vladimir Putin has to sell this to his audience back at home, Rebekah. And if the economy is in shambles, and getting back into a global economy is something that would be of interest, whether or not they talk about the Arctic, rare earth minerals. President Trump also is looking at this with the delegation that he sent as well, and says, I think it's a good thing there's business people there as well. So if they're, going to kind of talk a little bit about, Vladimir Putin's interests, there seems to be a real incentive here, because we also know that NATO may be prepared to continue to arm Ukraine if this falls apart.
Is that a question
Rebekah,
to me, Bianca?
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I can hear you. So, yes, I agree with the ambassador that there are two different agendas. Putin is going in with the goal of repairing the entire Russia-U.S. relations and undoing everything that has happened during the Biden administration. He wants all the sanctions lifted. He wants business relations repaired. He wants military to military. President Trump, however, wants to stop the killing. The peace plan is unfortunately unachievable because, as the ambassador said, Putin holds all the cards. He holds the upper hand on the battlefield. And from the combat potential standpoint, which is calculated as a combination of the size of the armed forces, the size of the weapons arsenal, the military-industrial complex's ability to scale up production sufficiently of military hardware and defense economics, Russia holds dramatic advantage, not only over Ukraine, but over the entire Europe. The Russians produce in 3 months more ordnance, more military hardware than Europe produces in 1 year. So it's a good, so peace plan is unachievable, but it's a good thing that they are meeting. But unfortunately, it's going to take such a long time that my concern is that President Trump is just going to simply get really angry with Putin. And I actually don't rule out the possibility, based on my intelligence analysis, that President Trump can just cancel the whole thing because he will realize that Putin is just stringing him along, delaying the negative consequences.
Bye.